are a blended family.
We 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 are a blended family.
We're a blended family.
We are a blended family.
We are a blended family.
We are a blended family.
And we are a blended family. Hi, we're Doctors Larry and Carol Snap. We're glad to have you with us today, this afternoon here in Phoenix, Arizona.
The premarital is all about asking all the right questions, making sure it's the right person, the right time, the right reason, the right motives, and all these things. We like, in the all-day thing, we like to play a Creflo Dollar video that's "You Need to Know."
Have you asked these questions?
It's all kind of stupid questions, but it's funny and it makes an impact.
Does anybody know about Pastor Creflo Dollar?
So he's just funny, and it's the humor that kind of makes it stick.
Like he'll say, "You look nice today. You look very nice. But will you do me a favor and tomorrow don't put that makeup on? I need to know what you look like tomorrow. And do you have a job? Can I see your paycheck? Or do you live at home? Those eyelashes are just beautiful. Are they paid for, or are you paying for them? And that outfit, is that new, or are you still paying for that?" And man, oh man, some of the stuff is just unreal. But it's you can see the people when they're watching the video. Some of the stuff that really pertains to them, their face gets red, so it kind of gives them away. But we also bring out the fact that, have you given the kids time to heal before you brought this new person into your life? A lot of people meet somebody new and they think this is the right person right away, and they're excited to introduce them to the kids. Well, what if 3 months from now they're not there anymore? You really have to take the time to make, to weigh everything out. And then we have people that have come into that Beyond Divorce class looking for singles. And we tell them, don't even think about that when you're here. If you find somebody you'd like to talk to, wait till after the class. This class is about your healing. And we had one couple do that. They're now married. They have 2 children. And they help us teach the Beyond Divorce. I mean, it's amazing what God has done with this curriculum that He's got with us.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. So yeah, we want to get people healed and make sure that they're allowing God to bring somebody new, because it's all about the future and the hope, right? So God can do all kind of things, and especially if we're waiting on Him to arrange things. But people don't understand what they're getting into in a blended family, especially if there's kids, right? You've been a single parent for who knows how long, years. You're used to calling the shots, right? Now you meet somebody and they got kids. Oh, man. How do you put that together? Most people don't. Because one of the things we found over the years of counseling, we deal with it in the pyramid there, that kind of between the number 2 and the 3 thing there, I have my kids, you have your kids, maybe someday there's our kid, but the thing is, it's mine and yours, right? There's this attitude of ownership. So what we teach in the class is these kids belong to God. He gave them to you. He wants them back, right? So if you look at them as God's kids, I'm a steward, not an owner, then they're ours. They're all ours. All right? So it's a mindset. We try to get people to see that if you're going to own your kids, you're not going to make it. Because when you do that, you always put your kids above your spouse. It's out of order. It's not going to work.
And you're not showing them what a godly marriage is, which is what marriage is supposed to be. You're supposed to show them, teach them what a godly marriage is.
Yeah. And we deal with, again, it goes back to the pyramid, but this marriage is the one that matters. Okay, so there's an X. You, as a one flesh unit, need to manage that relationship as a one flesh. So, it's like whenever the ex is trying to communicate, put it on the speakerphone, let them know, how can we help you? All those, we will get back to you. We will pray about this, get back to you. Too many exes try to manage you.
And set healthy boundaries. Yeah.
So it's getting people to realize how the dynamics work, right? We want to teach people a little bit about finances, getting a vision for this new marriage. Obviously, people spend a lot of time planning the wedding, totally ignore the marriage, right? So we want them to, be able to understand what it's like to set goals and all that kind of stuff. Again, we go into a lot of detail about the pyramid, and we talk about boundaries. When there's exes, even ex-in-laws, outlaws, friends, co-workers, that's all the number 4 stuff. Number 5 is a job. Number 6 is ministry. I think everybody knows ministry is a job. We find too many people in ministry, a lot of pastors, have number 6 as a 1.5.
Yeah, 1.5. It's up at the top.
So there's some confusion here that my job, being the work of God, is God. So it gets muddled, right? Timothy, if you're going to be a pastor, you better have your house in order, right? That means your marriage better be good. You better know where your kids are at night.
These are some of the areas where you can get a hold of us. There's some of our Facebook pages, our website. Laurie's got us on Twitter as well. Our basic number. These are the books that we have up here. We have one copy of the Spanish of the regular curriculum. That's the only one. We're still working on the Spanish version of Beyond Divorce. These are the smaller versions of them. The only place you can get them is here. We didn't take a booth up there. This is we have 2 big events a year we do. This one is the biggest one. It's a Roses and Chocolate event. It's coming up this Friday here. We just have a lot of fun at that. And then we have one in the summertime. This one is here on the campus. Then we have one that we do in the summer at the Orange Tree Resort. It's called Blended Believers. We have a lot of pastors and leaders come. And what we do is we have some of our leaders that we've raised in the community come in and speak for about 5 minutes of their own testimony. And then they will have picked a chapter out of one of the curriculums to teach about. And so we don't go get high-powered speakers. We use the people who better to talk about the instances instead of them saying, I can just imagine what you've been through. No, they know and we know because we've been there, done that. We need to allow some time too for Q&A.
Yeah, I just wanted to, I'm glad you said what you did. This is not just for our church, this is for the community.
Yes.
Right? This is a ministry that can help bring people in. Right? I mean, if you want to grow your church, minister to the people, right? So how does that work? Well, we'd be more than happy to come to your church and teach it. We can do it
Train your leaders.
a few days. Normally it's a 12-week thing, but we can crunch it in maybe a couple of days, something like that. Because of where we got our doctorates, this curriculum is certified for 1 hour of college credit at Primus University of Theology. The way we work it, you go through the class just as a student, you get a diploma, says you did it, come back again, help us teach part of one class.
And we make our own.
Right. And so then you get another college credit, and now you get a leadership certificate. Come again, do a whole class, you get a teaching certificate.
And when they go through the premarital, we have our own forms. We give them so they can take them to the courthouse. Because a lot of states, if you have this, that they've been through a premarital thing, it's cheaper to get the marriage license if they show they've gone through a premarital training. So again, we make our own forms up to help.
And the thing about the the affidavit, it's notarized and everything. Here in Arizona, we have a covenant marriage license. We're one of 3 states. Arkansas and Louisiana are the other 2. But you have to go through premarital training or counseling to be able to get that. And so there's a notarized affidavit that, yes, you went through it. And it requires counseling, like 2 years of stuff to try to get out of it, unless abandonment, adultery, or something like that, abuse. So,
Indiana's backwards. There's no premarital nothing, but when you get divorced, they make you go to a class.
all right.
Kids are all grown.
Well, yeah, there's a lot of churches that have divorce things, but they don't have marriage ministry. So, yeah, it's kind of backwards.
Yeah, backwards, totally.
We want to be the guardrail at the top instead of the ambulance at the bottom, right?
That's right.
So, how do you get to these people? Just, get somebody that's certified, right? Or bring us in. We can help certify some people. We do the class 3 times a year here. We'd be more than happy to go somewhere else,
And we have
especially if it's nice and warm.
We have pastors send us their leaders all the time. They know that we're not stealing your people. We're training your people to educate your people at your church.
Yeah, we're not sheep rustlers.
This Roses and Chocolate, last year we had 28 different churches, either pastors or leaders, plus our people from here that come. So they know. I mean, you have to establish that. You have to let them know that. But we're all part of God's kingdom, and we all have to work together to educate one another. And when a couple comes in, we're not finger pointing, well, you shouldn't have done this, you shouldn't have done that. We're there to teach them. Okay, well, that happened, all right, it's already done. You can't go back and change it. So now let's change how we're going to go forward. What are we going to do from here on out? We need to allow some Q&A.
So we have the classes 3 times a year. We have this big event, which really isn't a ministry thing. It's just kind of a great date night, which is a big part of marriage.
Dress up and tuxes and gowns.
Good food,
whatever.
fun, fellowship, the 3 F's. Food, fun, and fellowship.
Yeah.
And then we have the big seminar. It's like an all day, just
At the Orange
all
Tree.
things
Beautiful.
blended, right? Again, we're reaching out to the community. We don't look at this as us doing anything. It's just this is what God has called us to, and we're just trying to get it out there, right? But that's how you can reach your community is just start having classes. And then, train up some people. Hopefully they're blended so they understand how some of this stuff works. It's not a requirement. We've been to some of Ron Deal's conferences and stuff. He's all about step families, blended families, but he isn't one. Okay, that's just his thing.
Tell me about Alfonso.
Oh, well, yeah, there's down in Avondale, there's a couple that
New
teaches.
Life Covenant Church.
They do the blended families and they do the Beyond Divorce, and they've done the blended families in a bilingual situation, but they got like 9 kids between them. And one of the neat things about Alfonso was when he was getting all the kids together is there's yours and mine and there's 1 hour's,
Yeah.
but there are no steps here except the one on out to get into the house. So
We're all
that's
family.
one of those things, we just say our kids, my son, my daughter, whatever, and it's not like, oh, I'd like for you to meet my 3rd husband, right? It's just this is my husband, right, or my wife. So how you speak over the kids, about the kids to other people, especially if they can hear you, makes a big difference.
Does make a difference.
Being a step family or step parent is really, again, it's the attitude. It's an opportunity to be a very positive influence in somebody's life. I shouldn't say most. A lot of step parents see the kids as a pain or a burden or something I have to tolerate.
Marrying a person with kids.
Yeah.
Well, they pick and choose. We get them all the time. Well, I can get along with the daughter, but I can't with her son. Well, I'm sorry. When you said I do, you took the whole package. And that's how it is.
Yeah.
It's the whole package.
It boils down to how do you look at this, right? It's all up here. So, yeah, they got 10, 12 minutes left.
Question.
Question, first one in the back.
Your premarital booklet, does it deal with just the blended or with first timers?
It can relate to both, but it is mainly on blended because it says things like who gets to keep the friends. Because a lot of times when there's a divorce, the friends will pick and choose who they want to be friends with.
Right.
Who gets to keep the pet? That the kids are already losing their home. It's a mom and dad's home. It's not their home anymore. Am I going to see my pet on the weekends or am I going to have him during the week? Stuff like that. So we get more tailored into that. But we're talking about God's priority pyramid for relationships. So it can interact with. We had a couple 2 weeks ago when we were training for premarital for blended families. They were not a blended family, but they had not gone through the premarital, so they wanted to come to our house. They heard our curriculum was good, and we had several of our leaders come in and speak. And before they left, he says, "We've been having problems already. And hearing these problems that you guys have had being a blended family, we are not going to get divorced. That just is not going to happen." And there was no accident that we're here today. And that was confirmation that it can be for everybody. But it is more geared, Pastor, for blended families.
I would say the way I kind of summarize it, it's marriage ministry with an emphasis on the blending part. That's the bonus. It covers basic marriage,
Okay.
biblical marriage, and here's how you deal with the do-overs.
Right.
And these are all biblically based. There's scripture to back everything up we teach in these.
I did use the King James just because there's no copyright on it, but feel free to use whatever version you want.
Do you cover foster children or adopted children?
We do talk about that too.
We name that as a category of blended.
Yeah, right. Okay.
So we include that, yeah.
And you probably mentioned it, it's probably in the book, but what about families who are blended because of death? And I ask that because my pastor is a widow, his new wife is a widower, and they had some issues when they get married.
We deal with what is second chapter. What is a blended family, right?
Yep.
Remarriage after divorce, remarriage after the loss of a spouse, plus all this other, different cultures and all this other kind of stuff.
Even geographical, somebody from the east married somebody from the south. The food's different. How they celebrate the holidays is different, and those can be big issues.
Yeah, the thing with the biggest difference there is, with a divorce, you've used the law to break a covenant. So now you put yourself back under the law, right? Courts tell you everything. With a death, you've completed your covenant. Now you're free to enter into a new covenant. Now there's still some baggage, but not near as much as a divorce. And the biggest thing with that, comparing the new to the old.
Yeah. Larry's mom remarried after his dad died. She did not get such a nice husband. My mom remarried after my dad died, and they were divorced before that. She got a great husband, but the one that married Larry's mom, when she was gone out shopping, he would go through the things they had as a family and throw a lot of it away. He was jealous of the memories that she had with the ex. So, yeah, we cover those kind of things. You bet.
The guy, he went so far as to return photos of her kids because they weren't part of me.
After that,
therefore, they didn't need them. There's stuff like that.
And we also, when we were writing the premarital, it was at a pastor's school. Now it's called the Dream Conference.
Just like this.
But we asked pastors, what are some of the issues you have that people come to you when they're getting ready to get married that we might put in this premarital book? And he said, make sure that you define if you have agreed that you're going to take care of the mom and the dad till they die, that the prospective wife knows that, or the expected spouse, because he was dating this girl for 2 years. She knew all along, and 2 months before they got married, she made an ultimatum. It's either your parents or me. Well, she's gone.
She lost.
But, those are things, if you agreed to do that, you need to make sure that new partner is going to let you do that.
How much is your series of books?
We have the packets over on the other end there and the little plastic thing. That's the post-marital and the pre-marital with the leadership and the pastor's guide. So it's got, the how to do the stuff, and it's got answers to the questions. Those 4 yellow books, I think it's 80. I forget what the sticker is on there. But
85.
85? But
that is our marriage ministry in a box.
Okay. Yeah.
I think for that price, we might even throw in the Beyond Divorce.
Yeah, and we have a lot of times. This is the same as this one. This one is 25, but the smaller version is 10.
Oh, it's the same thing, just a smaller version.
Yeah, it's just a smaller format.
But
somebody wanted one. Smaller.
If you guys want any of these today, I think what we would do, Larry, is sell them for maybe 15. This would be 10, and any of the other ones would be 15 if you wanted them. And I believe the Beyond Divorce is 25 normally, and the Pre-Marital is 30. No, this is 20. So if anybody's interested, all the books up here, not the packet, of course, is 15, and this would be 10. So that's up to you. But does anybody have any other questions or any comments?
How long? So do you do like a 10-week? How do you set your seminars up? Like do you meet once a week?
Normally it's like the blended families we do every Sunday morning.
Okay.
For 12 weeks.
Okay.
Or 11 maybe. There's some we can kind of double up on. Some there's just too much in there to try to double up. It kind of depends on what they're doing here. We have to kind of fit
Follow
in
the schedule.
The other one, the Beyond Divorce we do on Tuesdays, 6 to 7. It's a 10-week.
It's 10
thing.
week.
And we do the
How many couples is?
We never know.
It varies.
But I mean, would be too many.
We've had.
That you kind of.
They've given us. Well, we're in a different room right now, but before we had a double room, and we'd have anywhere from 20 to 40
that need to be there. We don't put it cut off.
Now we always have coffee and pastries and those kind of things. A little bit of a breakfast thing
On Sunday morning, and on Tuesday nights we have some kind of a snack, veggie tray and water, because most people come right from work.
Yeah.
So we try to have something there for them. But and then on Sunday mornings, like Larry said, we usually have some kind of a fruit and some kind of pastry, and then my coffee, and then ice water. But that we're just trying to make it convenient for them too, because we know they're rushing, getting the kids into the daycare before they come to the class.
But for us that who buy that, are you recommending like one chapter a week?
That's how we do
That's
it.
what we usually do.
And then just
The pre-marital, the way we have been doing it.
Guides to help teach them if you feel you need to, because like Larry said, the questions are in the back of the book, each chapter, and the leadership guide will have the answers to it. Now in the pre-marital, with the pastor's guide to help teach the pre-marital, it will tell you pastors, okay, if they've answered the question this way, then you need to ask this question. Because we've dealt with so many couples we know, and if they're avoiding looking at you, okay, then this is what you asked. So that one is pretty specific. This one is pretty general. But, the best way is just take it and see. And we're always available. You can call us, send us emails, and we'd be glad to help you,
Our church just started we're in the same church. They just started the one that you said, the divorce care.
Uh-huh.
And you thought that put too much emphasis on.
That's what we've heard. We've not been through it. We were told that it's all about the exes every week.
Okay, so it's not something that you've experienced and know. Okay.
Right.
No, we've not been in it.
Hearsay.
Yeah. Anyway.
The weird thing about some of this, we did all this before we knew there was anything out there.
Yeah, we didn't know anybody had anything.
We didn't even know there was anything. And then as soon as we went on Facebook, oh, hey, did you hear about so-and-so? No. So
we didn't copy from anybody. This is ours.
It's things we learned through the counseling, things we experienced, things we learned in the marriage class. This is it's all the stuff we've learned and experienced, and it's what God led us to write. And then we found out, oh, there's other people doing this.
Christian living, Christian living. Christian Living Radio. It's a lifestyle. Christian living, Christian living. Christian Living Radio. It's a lifestyle.
Christian Living Radio, spreading the good news of Jesus Christ 24/7. Our goal is to bring you a life-changing word through music and diverse programming, like the one you're listening to now. Pastor Kenyatta Goins is the visionary of Christian Living Radio, and he's dedicated to the idea that Christians should even have a more prominent presence in the marketplaces. Maybe you need prayer for yourself and or your family, maybe for a friend. We'd be privileged to stand in the gap for you. If you're listening to this broadcast, click on the Contact Us tab and send us your prayer request. We'd also like to hear from you if you have something on your mind, or just give us some feedback. We support many ministries, so maybe you'd like to make a one-time or a monthly recurring donation. We believe that when you sow into these ministries, you'll indeed be blessed. And of course, if you sow into this show in particular, we believe that it's a blessing for you, so please consider sponsoring us. There's a special area under the Donate tab where you can send your monetary gift or call 520-812-6363. That's 520-812-6363 to receive more information about sponsorship. Thank you